Welcome to Applied Library, a place where books are not just read but lived, where ideas are not just understood but applied. Today's episode is not just about a book, it's about a shift in how you see control, a shift in how you see yourself, and ultimately, a shift in how you shape your life. We're diving into Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, a bold title, almost dramatic. But underneath it lies a simple, unsettling question. What if the life you're living right now is far smaller than the one you're capable of? And even more confronting, what if the only thing standing in the way is you? Not your past, not your circumstances, not luck, just the patterns you've accepted, the meanings you've assigned, the decisions you've avoided. This book is not here to comfort you. It's here to wake you up. Most people walk through life believing they don't have control. They say things like, "I can't change. That's just how I am. Life happened to me." And slowly, without realizing it, they hand over the steering wheel. But Robbins challenges this illusion directly. He says, it's not that you don't control your life. It's that you're already controlling it just unconsciously. Every reaction, every habit, every emotional pattern is something you've conditioned into yourself, not necessarily on purpose, but through repetition, through focus, through meaning. And here's where it gets interesting. If you created these patterns even unintentionally, you can recreate them, which means control was never missing. It was just unclaimed. Take a moment. Think about something in your life you've labeled as just the way it is. Now ask yourself, is it truly fixed or is it just familiar? One of the most powerful ideas in this book is simple. Your destiny is shaped in your moments of decision, not interest, not intention, not even desire. Decision, because a real decision cuts off all alternatives. It's not, "I'll try." It's, "I will, no matter what." Most people never experience transformation because they never truly decide. They negotiate with themselves. They delay. They wait for the right time. But the right time rarely arrives. And so life stays the same. Not because change is impossible, but because commitment never fully happened. Robbins pushes this hard. A single decision can redirect your entire life, not gradually, but instantly. Think about the defining moments in your life, the moments that changed everything. They weren't long processes. They were decisions, clear, sharp, final, and once made, everything else followed. Here's something most people overlook. Your life is not controlled by your conditions. It's controlled by your state. Your emotional state determines how you think. Your thinking determines your actions. Your actions determine your results. So if your state is fear, you'll interpret everything through fear. If your state is confidence, you'll act boldly even in uncertainty. The situation might be the same, but the outcome completely different. And here's the key insight. Your state is not random. It's created through three main things: your focus, your physiology, and your language. Change what you focus on and your emotions shift. Change how you use your body and your energy changes. Change the words you use and your experience transforms. This means you don't have to wait to feel motivated. You can generate it. You don't have to wait to feel confident. You can step into it. What if your emotions were not reactions, but tools? Beliefs. They're silent, invisible, but they shape everything. Your beliefs determine what you think is possible, what you think you deserve, what you think you're capable of, and most of them you didn't choose. They were inherited from family, from society, from past experiences. And once installed, they act like filters. Two people can face the same situation and see completely different realities because they believe different things. Robbins emphasizes, if you want to change your life, you must change your beliefs, not by forcing them, but by questioning them, testing them, replacing them. Because a belief is not truth. It's just something you've repeated enough to feel certain about. Ask yourself, what belief am I holding? That might not actually be true, but is shaping my life anyway. Now we get into one of the most practical tools in the book, Neuro-Associative Conditioning, or NAC. The idea is simple. Your brain is wired to avoid pain and seek pleasure. Every habit you have is tied to these two forces. You don't do things because they're logical. You do them because they're linked to pleasure, or they help you avoid pain. So if you want to change a behavior, you don't just try harder. You change the associations. You link pain to the old behavior and pleasure to the new one. For example, if you associate smoking with relaxation, you'll keep doing it. But if you vividly link it to loss, damage, and pain, and link health to energy, freedom, and pride, your behavior begins to shift, not through force, but through conditioning. This is powerful because it means you don't need more willpower. You need better associations. This part hits deeper than most people expect. Your values are what matter most to you. Your rules are what must happen for you to feel good. And here's the problem. Most people have conflicting values and impossible rules. They say they value freedom but also crave certainty. They want success but fear rejection. And their rules? I'll be happy when everything is perfect. I'll feel successful when everyone approves of me, which means they rarely feel fulfilled. Robbins suggests, simplify your rules, make them achievable, and align your values, because your life is constantly moving toward what you value most, whether you realize it or not. What if the reason you feel stuck is not lack of effort, but misaligned values? At the deepest level, there is identity, who you believe you are, not what you do, not what you want, but who you are, and this overrides everything. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, you will unconsciously recreate struggle. If you see yourself as someone who figures things out, you'll find solutions. Identity is the anchor, and real change happens when identity shifts. Not when you try to act differently, but when you become someone different. Because once identity changes, behavior follows naturally. You don't have to force consistency when it's aligned with who you believe you are. Despite all the intensity in this book, there's also a grounded truth. Massive change doesn't require massive action. It requires consistent action. Small shifts repeated daily compound into transformation. A slight change in focus, a slight shift in language, a small decision followed through. Day after day, and over time, you don't just improve your life, you become a different person. So here we are, at the end of the journey, but really at the beginning of something else. Because this book is not meant to be finished. It's meant to be applied, to be lived, to be tested. And maybe the most important takeaway is this. You are not stuck. You are not fixed. You are not limited by your past. You are shaped by your decisions, by your focus, by your beliefs, and those can change. So tonight or tomorrow morning or whenever this message finds you, ask yourself one question. What is one decision I've been avoiding that could change everything? And then make it. Not lightly, not casually, but fully. Because within that moment, within that clarity, within that commitment, the giant begins to awaken. Thank you for spending this time with Applied Library, where knowledge becomes action, and action becomes transformation. If you found value in this breakdown, consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and joining a growing community of curious minds and lifelong learners. Until next time, keep reading, keep applying, and keep becoming. See you in the next episode of Applied Library.